Found it. Go, give you a moment just to adjust. We're all good. Okay, wonderful. Right then, we're going to come to stand. Just find some space on your mat. Work into the upper back because we're going to be using a lot of that area this evening. So just starting with your feet hip distance apart as always. Just give yourself a little bit of a sense check from the feet, through the knees, to the pelvis, shoulders, and then growing up through the top of your head. So you're going to need a fair bit of space around the top of you. I'm going to just step to the side, okay? So you've got enough room just to kind of swing your arms out to the side, okay? So once you've found your position, just do a few deep breaths for me. So just start to inhale. Really come down to the base of your lungs. And then slowly exhale. Lovely. Just to repeat a few more of those lovely deep breaths. Again, just making sure everything else is nice and soft. Deep breath right down to the base of your lungs, even past your lungs, down to your tummy. And then just slowly let that air escape into the space around you as you exhale. I think we'll do that once more. Lovely. And then we're going to begin to add a little bit of movement. So you're just going to have your hands just gently placed to the side of you. As you breathe in, you're going to float your hands up and then just touch your hands behind your head. So just gently press behind your ears. Okay, we hold this position and then we float the shoulders up and then we slide the shoulders down and then we bring the arms back round to our start position again. So breathing in, with that breath in, a little bit of a sniff of air to get a little bit more breath, and then out. Lovely. So this is called the corkscrew. So I know it's only Tuesday night, but we're opening a nice bottle of wine, a posh one, because we need to pop the corkscrew. Imagine the arms of the corkscrew lifting up. You're pressing down. And then coming back down again. Lovely. Start to think about that deep tummy contraction now. So as you move through the arm position, you're holding a gentle sense of tension just below your belly button, okay? As if you've just kind of tightened the belt of your trousers, and we're keeping that rib cage nice and soft. Lovely. If you want to add a little bit more movement as the shoulders raise up, we come up onto tiptoes, and then we lower the heels down, and then lower the arms down as well. Good. Keep that tummy gently active. Breathe in to float up. Little sniff of air. Beautiful. Two more. You see how you're getting on with those. And you can really focus on that contrasting position through your shoulders from them being here compared to being here. Opening out through the length of your collarbones as well. Looking good, everyone. Amazing. Okay, we are going to bring those hands and we're going to hold them just behind the head. Okay, now if you start to find that's a challenge and you're getting sort of irritation along the little borders of your fingers, just bring your hands in front of your face. It just takes a little bit of the stretch out the nerve there. But we're all going to draw that tension in through the spine and we're going to take it into spine twist now. So breathe in. And then as we breathe out, we're going to rotate. We've been working on this the past few weeks. So really fix the pelvis and rotate from above and then come back to the center. Watch those shoulders, watch that corkscrew, push it down into your lovely bottle of wine until you go over to the opposite side. Lovely. Keep swapping from side to side. You breathe out as you twist and then in as you come back to the center. If you need to at any point, just kind of bring your arms down in front until you feel ready to bring them back up. If you want to add a balance challenge in, we're going to take a heel raise with it and twist still. Good, well done. Okay, a couple more each side. Watch those shoulders aren't creeping up to your ears. Okay, come back to the center. We're going to add a little bit of foot movement now. So bring your heels down if they're lifted. As you twist across to one side, you're going to lift the opposite heel or the opposite foot off the mat, coming into standing tabletop, and then place back down again. So think elbow towards the knee, either just with the heel lifted, so you could stop here, or take the foot off the floor just to challenge your balance a little bit more. And now I really want you to focus in on that tummy activation, because you should feel the tummy muscles working, but also across the upper back as well. Okay, so you're either here, twisting and lifting the opposite heel, so think opposite elbow to opposite knee, or maybe bringing that knee a little bit closer, if you can, into that standing tabletop. Working your balance. Let me see how you're doing, what options you've chosen. Super, well done. So Jill K, you're going to do right elbow to left knee. So if you twist into the left, your left knee comes up. You got it. Well done. Sorry about my son then. Just got jumped up on by his dad. Okay, one more on each side. This might come back a little bit later on. Lovely. Okay, and then come back to the centre and bring your arms down and just give your shoulders and arms a little bit of shake. Good stuff. So that was a bit of one for the brain, wasn't it? Okay, we're going to have the hands just behind the head again. When you're ready, shoulders are going to come down. We're going to take it into our squat now. So I really want you to sit your bottoms back and bring your shoulders forwards, and then push back to stand, and really emphasize that straightening up with your posture as you come back to stand. Okay, so your options really are how deep you want to go with this. So you can just take it into a little perch, like so. Or you can take it into a deep sit, so really coming down so those hips end up in line with those knees. Up to you, okay? But remember, with our squats, we've got that kind of ball between the knees, and we don't want to pop it, so we're going to try and keep those knees in line with the second toe. Looking good. This is where the heart rate goes up a little bit. Good. Very nice. Great stuff, everyone. So we're kind of finding that diagonal line. Try not to collapse too much. Just kind of that diagonal line through the spine. Sit back up again. Okay, 2 more. And then we're going to hold this next one. Okay, so sit where you can comfortably. We're just going to hold here. Draw that tummy in towards the spine. Option if you want to add, heel lift and lower. So you're just coming up and down on tiptoes. Otherwise, we're all just going to stay here, hold that position. So you're looking forwards into the camera, a couple of feet in front of you. Don't let your head collapse down, so you've got that nice long back line through your neck. Lovely. Watch those shoulders don't start to creep up as those arms get tired. And I want you to really pin your elbows back, so really draw those shoulder blades down and away. Lovely. Those legs should be tired now. So let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Lovely. Lower those heels and come back up to stand. And again, give those arms a little bit of a rest. Shoulders a bit of a roll. You should really feel this one in the upper back tomorrow. So as we're starting to tire, just really focus on that position. Probably should have said earlier, you want your elbows in line with your shoulders and not sort of collapsing in. So notice how that kind of opens up your chest as well. We're going to go back down there for one more before we change position slightly. So hands behind the head. Shoulders sliding down. We're going to sit back down into our squat, okay? But we're going to add our twist now. So I want you to all really try and draw your tummy away from the floor. So tummy towards the spine. When you're happy with what you're doing, you're going to kind of look down towards the floor now, but you're going to rotate. So you've got one elbow pointing to the top corner of your room and the opposite elbow pointing down towards the floor. Again, you should really feel the muscles around the shoulder blades working as you twist. Very nice, well done. Can you sit a little bit deeper into your squat maybe? That's good, Elaine, well done. Good, keep it going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great stuff. Okay, bring yourself back to stand. And just relax those arms again, just give those shoulders a little bit of a roll, or interlace the fingers and just push the hands away from us, just to stretch the shoulder blades apart. So really try and feel that separation between the shoulder blades, and just breathe and catch your breath for a moment before we travel down onto the mat. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to come down into our box position. So hands and knees. I'll just give you a moment just to adjust cameras if needs be. And then just setting yourself up in box. Okay, so we didn't really do a roll down. So we're going to use this opportunity to work on our spinal mobility. So when you're ready, just start with your cat-cow stretch for me. So tummy towards the spine. We arch the lower back. We tuck the tailbone underneath and we drop the chin to the chest. And then we take it in the opposite direction. So we drop the tummy, we lift the tailbone, and we look forwards, or maybe even take it upwards. Oh, that just feels so lovely. Really embrace that movement at every level of your spine. Curling through the bones in your back. Look how beautifully your spine moves. You might have an area that's a little bit stiffer than the other, but that's fine because we're here to work on that. Now, as you've done a few of those, see if you can start to push yourself a little bit more into the extremes of those two movements. See if you can press the heels of your hands into the mat when you come into cat stretch and feel those shoulder blades wrapping around your rib cage. See if you can rotate your elbows so they're pointing forwards when you come into your cow stretch. Notice that movement that you've got in your shoulders. So in cat stretch, the kind of forearms rotate and the elbows point backwards. The flats of the elbows, should I say. And then your cow stretch, they come forwards. Lovely. Do a couple more of those. Enjoy them. And then use this next one to find your mid position. Okay, we're all really happy with the box now. So we've got the back of the head lifted, the shoulders sliding down into your back pockets, and your tailbone is long. So you've got a nice flat spine for you to rest that glass of wine that we just poured from our corkscrew earlier. Okay, first exercise is all about shoulder control and stability, as we bring our core awareness into that as well. So throughout this, I want you to think about just gently drawing your tummy away from the floor. Keep your shoulders nice and steady as you take one hand, and you're going to just kind of repeat that position from earlier. So you're just tapping behind your ear, almost like you're saluting, and then you're going to place your hand back on the mat and then swap with the opposite side. I'll show you from front on, okay? So slow and steady, tap behind the ear, try and get the elbow in line with your ear. So you're not closing that elbow down, you're opening up and squeezing between the bones of the shoulders to help with that. Good. And for those of you that want to work a little bit harder, we're going to carry on with the same hand positions, but you're just going to bend your knees slightly so that your feet are lifted off the floor. Have a little quick look at the camera, what that looks like. Just do a little heel lift. You're going to get the back of the legs working hard as you do that. Less point of contact with the floor, so you're a little bit less steady. Right, let me come and see how you're getting on keeping that glass of wine steady on your back. Oh, brilliant. Well done, Elaine. Lovely, Helen. Good work, Liz. Well done, Jill. Lovely, everyone. Ivana looks good as well. Okay, do a couple more each side. Keep them nice and slow if you can. So just pause at the top, Liz. That's it. And then slowly come down. Beautiful. Okay, we're all going to start and we're going to bring our right hand into that sort of saluting position. We're going to keep the tummy nice and active. This time we're going to bring the elbow and we're going to twist to look towards the left. So the elbow points towards the ground. And then we're going to bring the elbow back up and twist to look over the shoulder. So it's kind of a little bit like our thread the needle move, but we're just making it a little bit of a smaller movement and really using that elbow to drive the movement. So it's as if the elbow is kind of drawing a semicircle around the side of your body from the floor and then as much up to the ceiling as you can. Obviously, you'll get to a point where you can't twist too much, okay? Don't worry about that glass of wine now, you can let it spill. Okay, we really want to open the chest. You've got the option as well if you want to do that with the heels lifted. Obviously, you'll feel a bit less steady. Well done. Super. 2 more on this side, and then we'll see how the other side feels. Brilliant. Okay, let's take it across to the opposite side now. So left hand touching behind the head. Don't worry if this side feels different, okay? Again, just drawing that tummy towards the spine, and we drop the elbow down. We look towards the right, and then we lift the elbow up and we look towards the side of the room, okay? So that elbow points to the floor, and then we do the best that we can to point that elbow up towards the ceiling. Now, as you do that, think about your necks. Can you keep your neck nice and long? Or do you notice that your shoulders are just creeping up towards your ears with the effort of that movement? So stop midpoint every now and again and just reset the shoulder position. And again, if you want to try that with the heels lifted, feet lifted, so you're just on your knees. I'm on a really hard floor, so that does not feel very nice. Good. Oh, lovely mobility there. Well done. 2 more. Good stuff. And 1 more. Okay, come back to your box position, and we'll all just sit back to our heels for a moment. So just resting whilst I just explain what we're going to do next. We're going to come into a little bit of a plank series with a few options. We're not here for that long though, so I'll build you up quite quickly and you can choose your options as you wish. So your first option is just to do that kind of prep plank where you're in your box and you tuck your toes underneath and you're lifting your knees off the mat, keeping your back relatively straight. Your second option is to come into your full plank. So you walk your hands forwards and you lengthen those legs out. Okay, tummy's drawn towards the spine, the head is lifted off the mat, shoulders are set, and the tail is tucked underneath, okay? And we'll just build up the progressions of our holds with that. So just do a few, and then when you feel happy, start to build your holds up, okay? During that full plank, really make the most out of it. Press your hands into the floor, squeeze your thigh muscles, as well as your core, your arms and legs are working. Oh, that's a good view, Elaine. Nice, Jill. Lovely. Well done, Ivana. Lift that head, Liz. Yeah, good. That's it, Helen. Yeah, beautiful. That worked for you as well, and your name's not even Liz. Okay, so I promised you options. So you've got your knee lift. Yeah, you've got your full plank, or we're going to come back to what we did first time. We're going to add those little head taps, okay? So you've got to try and keep your shoulders as steady as you can. Bring one hand off and tap behind the head. Second hand off, tap behind the head, okay? Big challenge here, so do it with it what you wish. If your head feels a little bit too far away, you could always tap the elbows, okay? The idea really is that we're just loading one arm up at a time. If that feels too hard in your full plank position, come back to your box position and try it from there, or just don't do it at all and just keep practicing holding, creating that tension in your plank. It's a hard one, so don't worry if you feel like you can't quite manage it, just hold the plank. Well done if you are giving it a go, but honestly, it's a tough one. So we won't be here much longer. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So let's all just sit back into those heels now and stretch out. Lovely. You'll be pleased to know we are over halfway there. So we're going to keep going at the same pace. We're going to come into our side prop position now. So if you just face forwards, set yourself up kind of as if you're about to do a clam, but you're just going to support yourself on your forearm. So nice opportunity for kind of shoulder loading. We're sending a lot of information into this shoulder, so you can kind of really build up the local strength and stability. We can always work on the underside of the body as well by just creating that lovely gap between the floor and the the floor and our body. Okay, we're going to take that top hand again, tuck behind the ear. We're going to draw the tummy towards the spine. We're going to breathe in, and then as we breathe out, we're going to rotate to draw the elbow down towards the floor. We're looking down towards the mat or maybe behind us, and then we open up towards the ceiling, looking up as we go. So a nice little twist through the upper back as we press through the underside of the body to strengthen up this area here. Okay. Good work, everyone. So I'm going to keep you there. I'm going to show you an option if you want to give it a try. We add that to our corkscrew, not our corkscrew, sorry, our side bend. So from the side bend, if you remember, we just lift the hips off the mat, okay? And then from here, add that rotation in. So you've now only got your knees and your forearm in contact with the mat. The hips are lifted. We're pressing the pelvis forwards and we're twisting. There's no kind of dosage with this. So if you feel like you can only manage a few and then you need to lower your hips, that's fine. So choose your option. Your hips are either down on the mat or they're lifted and you're rotating. And we're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Then come down. And then just sit yourself back up again and just give that shoulder that you were just kind of leaning your weight into a little bit of a roll round. We've not done side prop for a while, so I appreciate if that feels like a little bit of a strain. It did for me, especially on this shoulder. Okay, we're going to come to the opposite side of the mat now. So just bring your legs round and set yourself back up in your side prop position. So knees bent, steps on top of them, elbow bent, okay, and just take a moment when you're there just to consider your setup. So don't go straight into your exercise. You want to make sure your body, your feet, your hips and your spine are all stacked up on top of one another, and just really emphasize that lift as if you're growing out the floor. Once you've hit that position, just make sure your neck is kind of following the line of your spine. Hand gently pressed behind your head, shoulders slided down into your back pocket, your tummy's gently drawn in, and then again, breathe and rotate. So really use that idea of the exhale to bring you to the end of your movements. Let's see how you're getting on. If you want to go straight into the side bend, you can. You can do a few of these and then add your hip lift. Good. Press that forearm into the floor. Okay, so if you haven't already, you want to, now would be a good time to add your hip lift. Okay, so lifting the pelvis off the mat, hand behind the head, and then just keep twisting. Keep that tummy gently drawn in towards the spine. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great stuff. Lower that hip down and give your shoulder a little bit of a circle. Okay. A few more minutes. We're going to come down onto our backs now and just finish with a bit more of a focus on the abs. So if you want to set yourself up in your rest position, knees bent, feet hip distance apart, we're going to carry on with the idea of just placing the hands behind the head. If you want to, though, you can interlace the fingers and create a little bit of a cradle for your head to rest. Now, we spoke a lot earlier about kind of opening the fronts of the shoulders. For this, I want you to be able to just see your elbows in the corner of your gaze. So just kind of rounding that position a little bit more, lifting the elbows off the floor, okay? We're going to work really hard now just to draw the tummy towards the spine and flatten the back of the rib cage into the mat, shortening the distance between the ribs and the pelvis. And then on a breath out, see if you can float your head and shoulders off the mat, keeping a nice space with a juicy peach to rest between your chin and your chest. And then we're going to lower back down again. So you don't need to come too high, even just enough so that your head floats off the mat, You can slide a £5 note underneath it and then you lower it back down again. Or if you want to work the abs a bit more, we come a touch higher, okay? But you're not aiming to look down towards your tummy. You're keeping that gaze just up towards the ceiling, and the higher you come up, that gaze kind of transfers just above your knees a couple of inches. So think tummy's drawn to spine, rib cage slides down towards the pelvis, and then we float the head and shoulders off of the mat. Helen, how are you with that? You okay with that? Yeah, well, lovely. Looks good. Okay, so we're going to kind of wrap things up with this ab sequence. So you might find just doing these repetitions and really engaging your core, you're feeling it already in your tummy, and you might just want to carry on with this. That's absolutely fine. If you want to add a little bit more on though, we're going to bring that twist back in. So we have kind of built up towards this. So with your twist, you bring the head and shoulders, float them off the mat, and then you rotate. But rather than bringing your elbow across your body, think about bringing your shoulder in the direction of the opposite hip, come back to the center, twist across to the opposite side, back to the center, and then rest the head back down again. So begin with your abdo prep, then we take it into twist to center, twist to center, and lower down. You should really feel that shaking in your tummy as you work through that. To just give you a bit more support, you can get the pelvic floor switched on, but you shouldn't feel it in your neck. So if you're feeling it in your neck, just come back to that first option where we just float the head and shoulders off the mat and really connecting in with that rib cage, melting down, pressing into the back of the mat. Imagine you're lying on a sandy beach and you're trying to press the base of your rib cage into the sand. So either lift and lower, or lift, twist and lower. Good. So make sure it's not your elbow that's coming across your body. You're keeping your elbow in the same position and it's your shoulder that's drawing you across. And then you'll be using your tummy muscles a bit more. That's better. Well done. Nice, Helen. Yeah, good alternative. Okay, final option. We've not got long left. For those of you that want to take it into a double tabletop, you can do that with both options. So coming into double tabletop and just working on your abdo prep, head lifts and lowers, or add the twist as well. Okay, I appreciate you've been going for a long time, so I'm going to count you down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, nearly there, 5, 4, 3, 2, I feel sorry for anybody who's coming on Thursday, and 1, coming down, and you probably feel like you need to give those knees a nice big hug from where you are. Gently rock from side to side and breathe. Unless you want to do more, by all means, be my guest. Fairly straightforward one, but you can definitely feel that in your tummy. Okay, just take a moment just to breathe and stretch out. And then when you feel ready, you can roll onto your side and you can push yourself back up to sit if you've got the energy.